The flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party for the 2023 presidential elections, Atiku Abubakar, says he is no longer bothered about the leadership crisis rocking the party. Recall that the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and his Benue, Enugu, Abia, and Oyo State counterparts, Samuel Ortom, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, Okezie Ikpeazu, and Seyi Makinde, respectively, fell out with the presidential candidate over the demand for the resignation of the party's national chairman, Iyorchia Ayu. Wike and the 4 other aggrieved governors had vowed that until Ayu quits his position as national chairman of the party, they would withhold their support for Atiku in 2023. Efforts by stakeholders of the party to restore normalcy proved abortive after a series of meetings with Wike failed to yield positive results. Speaking on the matter, Atiku says he has moved on, stating that leadership change is currently impossible in the party. Well, joining us now on Newsday is a member of the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization and a former National Publicity Secretary of the party, Kola Ologbondiyan. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be, of course, discussing the party's protracted battle with Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and his allies, and to what extent their opposition to Atiku's candidacy could hurt his electoral futures and fortunes, with the declaration that despite the PDP crisis still unsolved, the party has moved on. Great to have you on the show with us this afternoon. Thank you for joining the discussion.
Thank you very much, Awa, and good afternoon, Temetope.
Good afternoon.
Well, we heard that fiery speech from Vice Presidential candidate Kashim Shettima a couple of days ago. And just to summarize, he pretty much said, how is it that Atiku plans to run the country if he is still unable to unite his party? As we know from our intro, Governor Wike and the 5 others are still strong, and it seems you all are moving on regardless.
Well, thank you very much. Maybe I should make a few comments on the vice presidential candidate of APC and his horrible remark concerning the candidate of our party, the Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar. I think the comment made by Shettima is totally misplaced, and as he has been told, it is absolutely irresponsible of him to go after the character, after the personality of the person of Atiku Abubakar, whom Nigerians know and recognize as a solution to the current challenges of our nation, and whom they are rallying with, at least across the 6 geopolitical zones, because Atiku Abubakar has gone to 5 out of the 6 geopolitical zones, and a mass of Nigerians came out to receive him and assure him of their support at the general election in February. So it's totally a misplaced and a misguided comment on the side of Shettima. But having said that, I want to place on record that the position of Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, and the Waziri of Adamawa is as it currently obtains in the party. And the party, as well as the candidates, has never hidden its own position in respect of the demand by Governor Nyesom Wike that the current chairman of the party should resign his position to enable the South have the chairmanship. And the basic truth, the underlying factor, is that even if Iyorchia Ayu, the current chairman of the People's Democratic Party, accepts to resign, it does not fit into the demand of Governor Nyesom Wike, which is that the South should produce the national chairman. And as you know, like rightly said too, efforts are being made to make sure that issues in the party are resolved and resolved amicably. However, with the ban of the campaign having been lifted, it is totally impossible for the party and for the candidate to keep in abeyance and refuse to go out and take its messaging to Nigerians on the reason why the candidate of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, should be voted for in the 2023 election.
Now, you recall that in 2015, about 5 governors abandoned the PDP and pitched their tent with the APC. There were Rotimi Amechi, Abdul Fattah Ahmed, Aliyu Wamako, Murtala Nyako, and Rabiu Kwankwaso. And of course, we know how the presidential election at that time, ended. So what measures have been put in place to prevent a repeat of the outcome of the 2015 election, especially with the PDP no longer in power at the center and still with 5 governors not at peace with the party?
Well, the circumstances are different. What I'm saying in essence is that what operated in 2015 is different from the current situation. The current situation has to do with the demand that Senator Yocha Ayu should vacate office on account that the outcome of the presidential primary went in a particular way. And like I've said before, and I'm also repeating now, the circumstances are totally different in the sense that even if you remove the national chairman of the PDP, even if you agree to resign, constitutionally, in line with the provisions of the constitution of the party, the next in rank, the person that will succeed him, is the deputy national chairman that comes from his zone. This time, the deputy national chairman comes from Yobe State, Ambassador Damagum. He's from Yobe State, which falls in the northeast, the same geopolitical zone with Atiku Abubakar, the candidate of the party. So the circumstances are totally different.
Mr. Ologbondiyan.
In 2015 that you are making
Allow me to interrupt you.
Yeah?
I think you're misunderstanding my question.
Please go ahead.
My question is, how will 5 PDP governors withholding their support for your candidate, how will it affect the fortunes of your party in 2023 if you do not resolve this issue? Atiku Abubakar says he has moved on. Can he actually move on without this 5?
Moving on in that circumstance is speaking to the fact that campaigns have started. And indeed, campaigns have started. But there are those in the party, and even outside the party, there are Nigerians that are very, very concerned on the need for reconciliation, who are working towards that reconciliation. And I don't want anybody to read meaning into what Atiku Abubakar has said, that in moving on with his campaign, it means that he has foreclosed all the doors of reconciliation. I don't want to go away with that, and I don't think anybody will go away with that. We have consistently said that, look, while the campaign is going on, at any point in time where there is a need to open the doors for accommodation, the doors remain open, and accommodation can take effect. Don't forget that this matter that we are discussing has to do with fellow human beings, and there's human nature in everything that we are talking about now, and there's anything that we are doing. Reconciliation can be done at any point and at any level, and whenever it is done, the party will still go ahead with its campaign.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, because it can be a little bit confusing when one says that they're going to move on, but it seems that the door is still open for reconciliation. So thank you for clearing that up. I want to speak of the optics of Atiku Abubakar as a presidential candidate. Now, we know he has a lot going for him. He is a very well-seasoned statesman. He has run for this office a number of times, but he also has a lot not going for him. His critics, namely, are saying that his candidacy is seen a bit as irregular, and that is because of the supposed violation of your party's own constitution, obviously, by not respecting this power rotation discussion. And also this issue is imploding the party. This is what we've been discussing, and not to flog a dead horse, there's also the unfortunate rumors of corruption and graft in his past. With all of these seemingly small but could be large issues when you mount them on top of each other, what are your expectations that he will go really far for February 2023 when people are zeroing in more on these issues?
Well, thank you very much. I've considered, and I think I've said this on this platform and even on your sister programs too, that the question of violating the constitution of the party does not arise at all. And the foundations are very clear. We had a process that led to the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the candidate of the party. First and foremost, under the leader, and if time permits, I want to go into the details. First and foremost, under the leadership of Prince Uche Secondus, the party constituted a committee which was chaired by the governor of Bauchi State to look into the reason why the party lost the election in 2015. The committee, which had as its chairman the governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, senator, went into the issue and in his recommendation back to the party, acknowledged the fact that though we believe that we won the election of 2019, that if we want to win in the future, we have to fit into certain bills. One, if we are going to adopt zoning as a party, that two geopolitical zones have not been allowed, have not had the opportunity of being president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One, the Northeast, and two, the Southeast. Even though people like me believe that that report glossed over the North Central, which has not produced a civilian presidential candidate as well in the party. But having said that as a side, now the report further suggested that should in case the party wants to serve on merit or want to produce a candidate on the basis of merit, given the clamor in the Nigerian context then that there should be no need for zoning, that they should declare the office open. Whoever can win, the primary of the party should be allowed to win. However, moving further, when the Secondus administration left office, the report was not taken. Then the Yoche Ayu led the National Working Committee, constituted another committee to look into the same issue of where to take the presidential candidate from. And this particular committee was chaired by the governor of Benue State. It was chaired by Governor Samuel Otom, the governor of Benue State. What report did he return to the party? And I must emphatically state also that the committee has a member per state. So at the end of it, you had 37 members, chaired by Governor Samuel Otom. This committee went into its meeting, brought back a report to the National Executive Committee. The National Executive Committee is the highest ranking position in the party to take in decision-making process. And it came back and said that because the party has started selling forms, as a result of that, there is no need going into zoning. So, also in line with the second recommendation of the Bala Mohammed Committee report, that the exercise should be declared open. The exercise was declared open. People who were vying for election went around the country, canvassed for support among the delegates, and we went to the National Stadium in Abuja here and had a convention that was declared as transparent by every aspirant. And Atiku Abubakar won at that convention and became the candidate of the People's Democratic Party. So as such, I believe that it's only those who are not within the context of the process of the party that can come and say that, oh, no, the constitution was violated. Which constitution was violated? A constitution that we all went into, that all NEC members went into a meeting and agreed and said, look, in view of the situation in which we have found ourselves, let the exercise be declared open. And the party itself has admitted from the beginning, according to the report that was brought by Bala Mohammed, that we have a process in which we either allow, if we are going zoning, we either zone to the northeast or we zone to the southeast. And if we are not doing either of these two, we should allow the exercise to be declared open. So the party has not acted outside the jurisdiction of its decision-making process. But having said that, you talk about corruption concerning Atiku Abubakar. Personally, and by my understanding of systems, I believe that those who are talking about corruption concerning Atiku Abubakar are only speaking to the air. Because Atiku Abubakar, even among the rank of those who say they want to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria today, none of them has been investigated the way and the manner in which Atiku Abubakar has been investigated. And as you and I are talking this afternoon, up to this moment, not one indictment has come against Atiku Abubakar. So if you have your facts, about concerning corruption about Atiku Abubakar. And every agency of government has carried out one form of investigation or the other. And the man has not been indicted for any offense. If you still feel strongly, there are agencies of anti-corruption. They are banned in the country. And I know that it is even the Atiku Abubakar administration with Olusegun Obasanjo that brought this institution that brought these agencies of anti-corruption into effect, whether it is EFCC, whether it is ICP, just name them. It was under the administration that they were constituted. So those who are still clamoring about corruption can recourse to it. And the candidate of our party, Atiku Abubakar, is known to be an individual who has fought all his battles in the law court. So he's not somebody that is afraid of going to court. If you have your facts, let's go there. But however, having said that, the People's Democratic Party parades the candidate that exudes confidence that we are going to win the next election. We are not a candidate of the APC who is going about ghosting promises to Nigerians when he knows that his party and even his personality is surrounded by promise and fail. Here is a candidate who promised to embark on sympathy visits to Benue State, to Delta State, to Kogi State. He hasn't gone to one of the states. And it's the same person who wants to preside over the Republic of Nigeria. Our candidate does not ghost about promises. He doesn't do no show. He doesn't make failed promises. He comes and he has come around and said, look, believe in me, I will unify this country. I will unite our people, because the pathway to development in our country today will be predicated on the foundation of unity. And that is the only way that we can move forward as a people. We are never as divided as we are in the country today. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for bringing up the issue of unity. I mean, ever since your party primaries, the PDP has not been united. A lot of people are aggrieved, and it seems, despite all attempts to reconcile, this unity is still elusive. And then, of course, we still have the controversial comments made by your presidential candidate when he asked Northerners to vote only for a candidate from the North, saying they do not need a Yoruba or Igbo leader. So how then does he plan to unify the country if he's still playing the ethnic card?
Temitope, let me tell you something glaringly and very clearly. Among the array of Nigerians out there, I'm vying to be president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria post-May 29, 2023. Atiku Abubakar stands out if you talk about unity. His body language, his character, his experience in governance speak to somebody who has an array of Nigerians of different shades around him. No other candidate, none out of the remaining parties, will do fine and find all groups, all dimensions, all dispositions of Nigeria as a nation represented in him. It's a clear fact. You see, let me tell you something. People say, oh, he has not unified his country, he wants to unify Nigeria. Who told you that he has not unified his party? Why are they saying he has not unified the party? Even in the family system, where children of the same parents live together, you still have those who disagree among themselves. It does not remove the fact that the family is a united form. It doesn't. And the fact that a part of the body is not functioning well does not remove the unity of the body. It doesn't at all. So as far as we are concerned, the People's Democratic Party, we speak to our challenges. We are not like APC, who will have challenges and be feigning to Nigerians that, oh, everything is okay. Whereas the national chairman is going on one part, the candidate is going on another part. But they will come and tell Nigerians that, oh, everything. So we are not like that. We are a honest political party. Our candidate is honest to Nigerians. We accept the challenge that we have some level of disagreements in our party. We also say it, and we say it openly, that these disagreements are possibly going to be resolved before we go into the election. So it's not an issue of whether, oh, he has not united his party. Who said he has not united his party? The fact that there are a group of people in the party who don't agree with a particular process doesn't remove the fact that the party is united. And that's the honest truth for me.
Okay. Well, we have seen some increasingly fiery rhetoric from all sides of the political campaign. And we know that the front runners, so to speak, for the presidential and vice presidential spots, and I'm talking about the APC, PDP, and the Labour Party, all three of them represent the major ethnic groups we have within Nigeria, separate but major. It seems like the fiery rhetoric definitely is ethnically, is based on ethnicity and division and polarization. Now, the PDP, well, as we have you sitting here, what is the PDP going to do in order to tone down some of that rhetoric? As we do know that a peace accord was signed, and we know that these kinds of things just stir up the polity in a way that distracts from the actual facts, figures, and the manifestos you all put forward and the major issues Nigerians are facing. So what is the PDP going to do in order to be the bigger person and maybe even lead the way in making sure some of this rhetoric is toned down and the country has some kind of basis to unite rather than divide?
Thank you very much, Awa. Maybe before I go to your question, I think I left out a segment of Temitope's question, which borders on the scenario that happened at the Arewa meeting in Kaduna. Atiku Abubakar has not necessarily said that, don't vote for Igbo, don't vote for Yoruba. No. I don't agree that that's the traction that he gave out. I think the traction that he gave out is that he was asked a question about why he thinks that the North should support him. And he said to the questionnaire that, look, I am a part of you. That's my own understanding. I don't know how others feel. I am a Northerner. I am a part of you. But I have built bridges across this nation. The person that you need is that person who has built bridges across the South and the West, among the Igbos and among the Yorubas, who is also a part of you. So, support me. That's my own understanding of what he said. However, in politics, subterfuge, blackmail, insults, personality assault, and all that are part of what has become known with our political system in Nigeria. But having said that, I do not think that Atiku Abubakar's personality discriminates. And I have known him as a public figure from my days of reporting in these day newspapers. But having said that, I want you to remember that it is only the People's Democratic Party that has been speaking to issues. The candidate of the All Progressives Congress, and I speak to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, came out his first day that I will speak publicly about 2023 and said Yoruba ló kàn. Tebade wo Yoruba tó kàn. I'm sorry I have to speak like this because I'm quoting him. Tebade wo Yoruba èmi ló kàn. What can be as divisive as that? What can be as divisive as that? But having made that foundation, on the morning show of Arise Television, I appealed that Atiku Abubakar and Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu are friends. They have relationships. So those whom they have put on their campaign should allow us to speak to issues. Because Atiku Abubakar from day one has been talking to the issues. He spoke to the issue of unity. He spoke to the issue of devolution of power. He spoke to the issue of economy. He has been addressing concerns of Nigerians. So we were appealing to the Emilokon campaigners that let us face the issues. Leave aside these personalities. But it appears that even Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is enjoying abuses. He's enjoying personal attacks. Because he went to Kaduna and called Atiku Abubakar a small boy. And he has been calling Atiku Abubakar names. So if you look at it, if you look at the entire process, it is only in the People's Democratic Party that we are talking to issues. But it gets to some point, like they say in my local parlance in Kaba, where I come from, in Kogi State, that when you push an animal to the wall, it has to defend itself. And in the process, even if it cannot bite, it will open up its teeth.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, I'm so
these are the issues that we must contend with. It is not...
I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but we are almost out of time. I would just like to ask this final question. You said that you are a very honest party and you do not hide what's happening to the people that you expect to vote for you. Now, in 2018, your then party chairman, Uche Secondus, apologized to the nation for mistakes committed by the PDP in the past, and he promised to do better going forward. This can be interpreted to mean that the PDP did not, in fact, meet the yearnings and aspirations of Nigerians when it was in power. Now, that same party wants to reposition Nigeria with a candidate that was part of the old leadership that did not lead the country to the promised land. What lessons would you say you have learned over the years that will help your party and your candidate serve Nigeria better if given a chance to do so in 2023? Very briefly.
Thank you very much. Very briefly, I want to lay the foundation of Secondus' apology. The foundation of Secondus' apology was that, we allowed a party that do not understand the nuances of our nation, that cannot govern our country, to come into power by our own mistakes. Now to your question, what we have learned from this mistake. We have learned the essence of unity, and that as forebears of a united Nigeria, as handed over to us by our founding fathers, that we will remain strict, and that's why our candidate has come out to say that except we unite as a people, you cannot play something on nothing. We have also discovered, with the experience of time, that we need state police in this country. That some people are looking for constabulary police, so we need to decentralize our policing system. Our candidate also come out to say that, look, unlike what we did in the past, this time we must focus on the informal sector of the economy by empowering the tomato sellers, the vulcanizers, the tailors, by providing the necessities for them to be able to do business on their own without a recourse. Our candidate has said that, look, we have looked at the past. Constitutionally, the issue of power has been within the rank of exclusive list. So, for us to generate power for Nigerians, for independent people to be able to move into the power sector and produce gas and produce power, let us take the power sector from the exclusive list to the recurrent list where it can function. Our candidate has said that, look, we have looked behind and we have seen that there are so much wastages in the public sector of our lives. So the candidate has said, look, instead of going ahead and borrowing money to fund recurrent expenditure, he has said that it will bring down the current expenditure to 45%. So that we won't have a situation like we're having under the APC government now, where an individual will steal over 100 billion naira and run away with it, and government will be coming around to say, please give us a part of it. So these are the issues, these are the lessons that we have learned, given the 8 years of misgovernance, of misrule, of pains, of anguish that the APC has taken us through. And you can see, even their candidate now is busy ghosting Nigerians, promising them that he will come and see them when they have suffered from flooding, and yet 3 states has waited in the last 48 hours. He has not visited one. He's only ghosting. So that is the situation in which they have shifted, they have pushed our country to, which the PDP, through Atiku Abubakar, the Waziri Adamawa, is set to relieve us of.
Well, Kola Ologbondiyan, thank you for joining this discussion. Very informative. We hope to have you back sometime soon.